All right, page 4, graphing these things in vertex form. Again, there's only one problem on the exam. There's one problem on the practice exam. There's two here on the review, so you can see it more than once. This one, right away I could answer up or down, by the way, based on the fact that that's negative, but we'll get to that. In vertex form, it's up here. I've got a little few notes for you. A times x minus h squared plus k, where hk is the vertex. So right away, the vertex is opposite same. Maybe we should put that right here as well. Opposite same, we've said over and over. The opposite of that is -2. The same of that is -6. Okay, really because it's a minus there, so minus a negative is what would give me the positive there. Kind of helps with that. X equals, remember, it's always the same as that. Those are always interchangeable. So I can come down here and do the same thing. X equals, I've got opposite same here, so that and that is always the same. I know the y-intercept is 0 something. I'll put that for both of these. And before it was 0c, but there's no c in this problem. In fact, if I plug 0 in, look what happens. I still got to do some work. In fact, it is just plug it in. -2 times 0 plus 2 is just 2 squared minus 6. 2 squared is 4. 4 times -2 is -8. Minus 6 is -14. So I can see already that this one is going to have to go by 2's again. -20, 20, 20, -20. And I'm going to start putting some points on here. I mean, I could start doing this at the same time. So -2, -6 would be right here. 0, -14 would be, well, this is 20, 18, 16, 14 right here. That's going to reflect here. That would be at -4, -14. Yep, 2 over. At -3, when I plug that in, I get -2 times -3 plus 2 squared minus 6. That's -1 squared is 1 times that is -2, -8. And I've got my reflection point because I've done this already. Right here and right here. Connect them up. This is opening, of course, down. It's increasing from -infinity to -2 and decreasing from -2 to infinity. Okay? Going up, then going down. Okay? As for the next problem, similarly, I've got 0 to plug in. 0 minus 1 is -1 squared is 1 plus 3 is 4. So let's go start plotting these points. 1, 3. This one, by the way, I'm going to be able to just go by 1s. Okay. Then I've got 0, 4 right here, reflected right here to give me 2, 4. I got -1, plug that in, I get -1 minus 1 squared plus 3. -2 squared is 4 plus 3 is 7. I know that reflects there. -1, 7 is right here. Reflect that to here. And I've got my parabola. Increasing from 1 to infinity and decreasing from -infinity to 1. This, of course, opened up. Now I've got to write the equation in vertex form of these following two problems. And Mr. Stout's waiting out in the hallway for me here, so I got to hurry up here. All right, so we've got these next two. He's coming in the room, so he's just going to hear these last couple of problems. All right, so for these two problems here, I'm going to write it in vertex form, which is this again, x minus h squared plus k. And if I want to write it in standard form, of course, that's y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We will have some form of a cheat sheet for this. We'll get that to you shortly. For the rest of this, for the writing it in vertex form, again, for h, we said this up above on the previous page, it's the opposite of b over 2a, which is 16, over 8, which is 2. So I know that's my h value. I'll get to that. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm just going to do the same thing over here. The opposite of -10 over 2 times 1 is, I get 5. K is plug that number in, so I've got 4 times 2 squared minus 16 times 2 minus 3. 4 times 4 is 16 minus 32 minus 3 gives me, well, again, plug that into your calculator. Please don't try and do that math. It's negative 19. And for k over here, again, I'm plugging in 5. Negative 25 plus 11 is negative 14. So now I have to know here that a is always the same. That doesn't change in either form. That's my a there. My a here is 1. You don't have to put a 1 there. X minus h squared plus k, which is plus negative is minus 19. Same thing here, x minus 5 squared minus 14. Done with those. Okay. These are actually easier. You don't make them easier. I don't know why, but you don't. And this just means write it out twice. This just means write it out twice. So let's do it over here too. And order of operations says parentheses first. So let's do the parentheses, which is FOIL. 2 times x squared. I've got a negative 3 and a negative 3 gives me negative 6x. And then multiply those to get a 9. Do the same thing over here, showing you that the steps are exactly the same. A 2 and a 2 is going to give me a plus 4x. And then multiply them to get 4. So the first step was to write it out, then FOIL, then distribute. I'm going to do the same thing on both of them. Getting monotonous yet? Is it the same thing a lot? Yup. 2x squared. Well, you know what? I'll get to that. And then the last step is just combine your like terms. Minus 12x plus 30. And negative 1x squared minus 4x minus 11. All right. There you go. See you on the next page.